Get louder. Get louder. Let me hear you say, 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 get louder. Let me hear you say, 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 get louder. Let me hear you say, get louder.
Somebody's out there, someone to calm my mind. Feels like I'm falling, feels like I'm out of time. Trapped in a prison, a fortress of solitude. And all my decisions, they led me so far from you. No one knows but me, the pain I put you through. No one knows but me, the reasons why I do.
Wow, I went to the bathroom, came back, and TJ took control of the tracks. TJ, what is this?
Okay, you kidding me? You gonna put this on me?
Yeah, what is this? I go to the bathroom for 2 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, I bet. Likely story.
Anyway, guys, what's going on? I'm already stressed out. We have a lot of injury news breaking this slate already. Cannot wait to break it down. We're going to need to have our full attention on all the injury reports. If you guys could spam into the chat any injury updates that you get, it would be highly appreciated because we have a lot to cover in a small amount of time. Hence the reason we went a little bit earlier. It looks like we're throwing some guys off. We usually get a bigger crowd. Everybody's probably expecting us to go live around 5:30, 5:35. So hopefully everybody starts tuning in shortly. They're going to catch the good part of the stream anyway once all the injury news completely shatters the slate. So let's start with what we know. And what we know, TJ, is everything we covered on our video plus the Brooklyn news. The Brooklyn news, obviously, with Durant being
covered
out.
That on our video.
Kind of, sort of, but we didn't cover the entire team. We kind of touched base on it. So let's go ahead and just start there. With the Brooklyn Nets, they are playing the Cleveland Cavs, who are just a far better team. Based on what happened in the last game. So what changes in this game without Kevin Durant, TJ?
Well, Miles Turner's playing, so that's something I wasn't prepared for. But so with KD off the floor, Matt, that's a 33% usage guy that is being dispersed throughout the roster. Obviously, we have Kyrie back from his sabbatical after missing 17 days.
Yeah.
that something what it was? 13 days. Math is hard. No, it was 15 days. Okay. So I was close. Yeah, came back against Cleveland, chucked up 28 shots, 3 assists. I mean, just absolute unbelievable numbers from Kyrie Irving. But managed to pay off his price tag, Matt, at 9K. Obviously, overtime helped. They went to double overtime, didn't they?
Yes, I do believe so.
Okay, that's
otherwise
what
Cleveland's not putting up 147 points.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was a little bit ago. Or it was 2 days ago, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, going up against Cleveland again, Matt. I obviously love James Harden at 10.8, and I also love Kyrie at 9K. It is tough because we don't really have too much of a sample size with KD off the floor, with Harden being over from Houston, and with Kyrie back. So I kind of think we have to use a little bit of intuition here, and I think you're going to want one of these guys in your cash lineup between Harden and Kyrie. Kyrie obviously being the cheaper option, but I personally think that James Harden's going to be the safer option, even at that $1,800 price discrepancy.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. I would assume he handles a little bit more of the offense tonight against Cleveland. Matt, I know we thought last time that Cleveland was going to get blown out by Brooklyn. Do you have any concerns that without KD, Cleveland is going to blow out Brooklyn this time?
I do, just because it's Cleveland. I mean, Brooklyn still has James Harden.
No. I said, do you think that Cleveland is going to blow out Brooklyn because there is no Kevin Durant?
Yeah, there's always that factor. No, I do think this could be. I do think this is going to stay relatively close. However, it is Cleveland, so we know their skill level. James Harden and Kyrie Irving, if you're asking one or the other, I wish I could tell you. I personally, TJ, if I'm playing cash, and I just want to start out by saying I'm going to try to get both these guys into a cash lineup if possible.
Yeah, for sure.
But Kyrie Irving's going to be my priority based on what he did last game. $9,000. He has been here longer, obviously, so I feel like he has a better handle on the offense. If there is any type of offensive, firepower or strategy coming from Steve Nash in this team, I don't see how there could be. 16.8% owned. He's actually slightly lower owned than James Harden. So with that being said, I think Kyrie Irving's the more obvious choice, but I absolutely love both these options. Anybody else you're considering for cash from this team? I know you mentioned Jeff Green before the stream, but do you like him in cash?
I did, yeah. I don't think I really like him in cash. So again, Matt, we have an 11-game slate, so the ownership is going to be dispersed throughout everywhere. And I think Jeff Green's a pretty solid play at 4,600 if he's going to play around 34 minutes. With KD off the floor, he gets a 2.9% usage bump. He's a 0.79 fantasy point per minute, so nothing too crazy. But when you're playing those type of minutes, it does make it a little bit easier to pay off your price tag. So the game can be competitive. I do like Jeff Green, probably more of a tournament play because I do think there's some better, cheaper value. But yeah, if I'm going anywhere for cash, it's going to be James Harden for me. One of James Harden or Kyrie. And then if you can get both, I think that's probably your best bet.
I think without Durant, this team does lack size, TJ, and because of that, I do like DeAndre Jordan tonight. I think he has to match up tonight, has to be out on the floor, and I think he could play upward of 33, 35 minutes if this game does stay competitive. So I think the 27-minute sample that we have here, we've seen him play, upwards of 38 minutes. I think that's more accurate in this game script than any other game script with Kevin Durant on the floor. So I really do think DeAndre Jordan's a great GPP option, showing 7.3%. Not to mention all the usage. I know he's not a usage guy, but still, James Harden, we know he likes to dish it to big men, so I think that fits the mold there. Definitely like DeAndre Jordan. I do like Jeff Green there, but both of these guys are carrying very low ownership. I think they're just GPP worthy, but I think they're great GPP options.
I just don't think anybody's really going to be carrying too much ownership tonight, especially in cash. Like I think one of Harden or Kyrie is going to carry a lot of ownership. In Boogie. And outside of that, Matt, I feel like the ownership's kind of going to be dispersed not evenly. There's going to be chalkier plays, but with 11 games on the slate, I don't think there's going to be too many guys that are carrying 50 plus ownership in cash.
Right. I kind of want to bounce to the other cash team because there's a huge drop off here in ownership. I don't think this is a real ownership. I can't physically.
I think it's real.
I know that it's first of all, it's a projection. So 86% though, and a big GPP. I think that's a little crazy. That's I wouldn't be surprised if he's 100% owned in cash, but 86% owned in what's the biggest contest tonight? Like 200 to 200K the first. I don't expect him to be that high owned in that contest. There's way too many players in the field that aren't paying attention to DeMarcus Cousins and just there's a lot of casual players out there tonight, especially it being a Friday night. So DeMarcus Cousins is the most obvious choice. Do you want to talk about that any further? We're without Christian Wood. He averages how many fantasy points per minute? 1.56, 1.46.
With Wood off the floor, he's a 1.31 fantasy point per minute. He gets a 2% usage bump. He's a 28% usage rate in totality. Obviously, most of that is with Oladipo off the floor, though. Matt, last game he played against Indiana when he was 4,300. So same type of situation. He only played 23 and a half minutes. He shot 2 of 9 from the floor and hit for 40
points. Yeah, no.
So, same type of situation. Again, this is the first game since Indiana that Christian Wood is sitting out. I mean, 4,400, like he's just an easy plug and play in cash. You need him in cash. You need DeMarcus Cousins in cash, 100%.
Yeah.
Please start your lineups with DeMarcus Cousins at the center position because they are tipping off at 7 if you're playing DraftKings. With that being said, if you want to try and fade him in tournaments, sure. Matt, I still think
there's a ton of center options.
I know, but there's a ton of center options, but even with the ownership that he's carrying, I find it very hard unless he gets ejected for him not to hit value.
Which is a possibility.
Smash value. It's definitely a possibility with Boogie, man.
Yeah.
Saw it last night with Draymond. We saw it the night before with Damian Lee. Like, people get ejected. And if there's one person that gets ejected more than anybody in the NBA, it is, well, maybe less than Draymond. It's Boogie Cousins.
Yeah.
So yeah, at 4,400, he's a lock in cash.
Yes.
Obviously, Matt, I know we have some priorities here elsewhere. We really like Oladipo at 8K. Again, sample size is very small, but we've seen the usage rate over these last 2 games since he's come to Houston. It's been
Harden.
40% usage rate in his first 2 games, starting with the Rockets. Again, wasn't very efficient shooting the ball against Phoenix. He was 7 of 22 from the floor, 1 of 5 from 3, and still hit for 45 DraftKings points and smashing value. So, Oladipo at 8K is still very cheap, especially in this Houston offense with no Harden, no Wood, and no Wall. So I really like Oladipo, and I really like Boogie Cousins. I think Eric Gordon is in play. Deshaun Tate, I wouldn't hate either at 4,900. There's a lot of value from this Houston team.
For sure.
In what could be a competitive game against Detroit. They're on the road as 3-point dogs. So I'm going to lock in Boogie, most likely going to lock in Oladipo as well, and I definitely have some other interest elsewhere on this Houston team.
It's funny the way the DFS market operates here. He was cheaper in both the last 2 games, but I think this is going to be his highest percentage ownership. Doesn't really make sense, I guess, with taking off Christian Wood. I can see how that would push up his ownership, but he's still also more expensive. So I love Oladipo for obvious reasons. I think he's one of the more obvious plays, TJ. I think he's as obvious as somebody like Kyrie Irving and James Harden tonight, honestly.
I thought you were going to say Boogie.
No, guys. You in the head. Yeah, Boogie Cousins is going to be the most obvious play on the slate. I'm not saying he's a bad play. I'm saying his ownership is very, very high, and a very easy way to get contrarian tonight is by fading him in bigger GPPs. And again, if that works into your favor, you're beating 86% of the field right there off the rip. So definitely a good way to get contrarian. Eric Gordon, luck. I know. Well, like I said, I probably won't do it in smaller GPPs or cash contests. With Eric Gordon, $5,700, 15.9% owned. I know you touched base on them. Are you considering him a cash lock?
Eric Gordon, a cash lock? No. For me, it's going to be Boogie, potentially Oladipo, most likely Oladipo, but not Eric Gordon. I think he's a good play if you're landing there as a last piece. I don't hate him at 5,700. But yeah, I think for me, it's Boogie, and then Oladipo is going to be my second priority.
He's relatively high owned is the only reason I ask. I think if he's one of your last piece, I think he's very viable. You said you like Deshaun Tate and PJ Tucker, but those guys are definitely.
I did not say PJ Tucker tonight. Nope. I think PJ Tucker actually. Yeah, no, he had his ceiling game last game against Phoenix where he hit for 3 DraftKings points. So I don't see him, going north of that anytime soon. So for those of you who played him against Phoenix, tip of the cap to you. I'd stay away from him for now.
Okay, let's move on to Chicago. Chicago's definitely having some very interesting injury news here with Wendell Carter. That's the only guy that's been ruled out. Unfortunately, we don't get the Patrick Williams news. Him being out right now, he is active and ready to play. Therefore, the only option really I'm looking at, TJ, is Markkanen at 16.1%, 6.6K. Do you want to dive into his usage a little bit more?
Yeah, I love Markkanen in what I saw with Wendell Carter off the floor, Matt. So he's going to be a lock for me. He gets a 4.2% usage bump. He's a 1.35 fantasy point per minute and a 27.2% usage rate, which is second highest on the team behind only Zach LaVine. So yes, I love Markkanen at 6,600. I think that's very cheap. It's a good matchup against Charlotte. Zeller is back, but that doesn't really affect my thought process when it comes to Lauri Markkanen. So at 6,600 with no Wendell Carter on the floor, I'm going to be locking him in cash. I think it's a pretty obvious play. in what is one of the higher over-unders actually on the slate at 227 right now, Matt. So I really like marking in. There's some other plays that I like here, like Levine currently showing 1% ownership at 9,500. I really like him in tournaments. He gets a 3.6% usage bump with Wendell Carter off the floor, 1.52 fantasy point per minute, 33.3% usage rate, obviously the highest on the team. So I love Levine as a tournament play. I know we're going to get questions about like Thad Young and Gafford. I don't hate Thaddeus Young if you're landing there. More of a tournament play for me. Gafford, if he starts, Matt, I think he is viable at 3,100, but that is yet to be seen. We don't have a starting lineup yet from Chicago, but we should get one while we're on stream, which is nice. The only thing I'm weary about with a guy like Gafford are his minutes.
Yeah, he did go up in projection, by the way.
He did. What do you have him projected at?
21 right now.
21 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So if he's going to play 20 minutes, I would be on board with him. He's a 0.89 fantasy point per minute with Wendell Carter off the floor. And again, good matchup. So I wouldn't hate Gafford as a last piece, especially on a slate where you want to prioritize some of these studs and, Brooklyn, there's some Luka interest. There's some other guys. So I wouldn't hate throwing Gafford at the center position, but the only thing is, if you are going to roster Gafford, if he does start, you got to roster Boogie as well. So you're locking down your util and your center position already. Kind of, your flexibility really isn't there. So yeah, for me, Matt, I really like Lauri Markkanen right now. He's going to be a lock. Interest in Zach LaVine in tournaments for sure. Gafford, if he starts, I think he's in play. Thad Young, I don't hate him at 4,700. So there's definitely some value here in Chicago.
Here's the thing. We talked about this in the video. If Cody Zeller is going to play full minutes, he's going to be an obvious lock as well. Right now he's available to play, and I've seen so many people in the Discord and also our chat saying that he's going to be playing full minutes. I don't see that anywhere, guys. So if you do see that news, please let us know, or where from. I don't want any fake news in the chat, please. Cody Zeller, if he's playing, his typical 28 minutes, which I highly doubt, he's coming off a fractured hand, so that's going to be hard to believe. $3,500, sign me up for that, TJ. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I was going to say, so normally with like lower body injuries, I'm a little more skeptical just because I feel like the minutes are going to be restricted, obviously, because a lot of guys can't condition. But with a hand injury, Matt, I kind of feel like you have the ability to still stay in not game shape, obviously, because you can't really play because you have a busted hand.
So no said fantasy labs. I'm looking now.
Yeah, but I think I think your stamina and things, they're not going to they're not going to go away from you too much because it's an upper body injury. It's not a lower body injury. So you can run. So yeah, if Zeller's going to play 28 minutes for sure at 3,500, he would be a lock in cash. I'm a little weary on it though.
I see it now. 6 minutes ago.
What did it say?
No minute restriction. I see it. Everybody's telling the truth.
No minute restriction.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if he's not going to be on a minute restriction, then yeah, I would be locking in Zeller. I would be locking in Zeller and
thanks, guys.
And Boogie in util. So I appreciate that. That's a good call.
Yeah.
So yeah, Matt.
You're lagging like crazy. Hold on.
I'm lagging?
Talk again. Yeah.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. You're annoying.
No. I would, if Zeller's playing full minutes, yeah, give me Zeller and give me Boogie at center and util 100%.
Yeah, I completely agree. Now I'm excited because I think those are the most obvious plays on the slate. With Gafford playing center, I think I'm going to prioritize Cody Zeller. You agree with that? Regardless? Yep. Okay. All right. I think that's pretty
no minute restriction, 100%.
Yeah. Great matchup, too. So, news we are waiting on, TJ. We are waiting on Miami, correct? We don't know Tyler Hero's status?
Yeah, we're waiting on Tyler Hero.
We're waiting on Toronto.
Toronto's huge, yeah. If Lowry
Atlanta.
or Siakam's out, that's big in Atlanta. Besides that, there really isn't anything else that we're kind of missing. We just got the news in the Knicks that Frank and Rivers are out. That doesn't really change up too much. I have some interest in Alec Burks. Batum is questionable for the Clippers, so like if Batum sits and they start Morris at the 4, I would have some interest in him. Again, Atlanta, Gallinari is questionable now. He's been out obviously for a little bit, and then Hunter and Reddish, that's big. Rubio, for Minnesota, that doesn't really do too much for me. So yeah, Garland's questionable as well for Cleveland, but I don't think that shakes things up. So yeah, we're waiting on Hero and we're waiting on Lowry and Siakam. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. So we need that hopefully while we're on stream, Matt, so we can run some numbers. I already have Court IQ pulled up for if Lowry and Siakam are both out, or if just Siakam is out, or if just Lowry is out. So we'll have to go from there.
All right. Well, that being said, Let's go ahead and give our obvious plays other than those guys. I feel like there's not too much to choose from. So right now we're looking up and down the list. The next option here, you want to talk about Dallas because Luka's actually showing some ownership. So Dallas has a mess of injuries, but also with Porzingis back in the picture makes things very confusing. So let's go ahead and hear that. Doncic 10.9K did go up in price tag 14.6%. What's your take on Doncic?
Yeah, so I mean, I like spending up for Luka again. I'm going to prioritize Harden over him, obviously, with KD being off the floor. Porzingis back and playing, lower 30 minutes is eating into Luka's value and his fantasy point per minute a little bit. But I'm not really worried about Porzingis when it comes to Luka. It's more so Jalen Brunson that's been starting alongside him. And honestly, Trey Burke off the floor, especially these last couple games, he's been super aggressive. Both of those guys carrying north of 20% usage over these last couple games since Porzingis has been back. And we've actually seen Luka's usage in the last 2 games, Matt, be south of 25%, which is absolutely crazy. Luka normally is around 38% usage. In his last 2 games, he was 25.02 and 23.7. So he hasn't really had the ball in his hands as much. So his assists are a little bit lower. He really didn't shoot too. He only put up 15 and 11 shots over his last 2 games also. So I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if it's because he's alongside Brunson. Maybe he's hurt and just has, nothing's come up on the injury report. But at 10.9, even with all of that being said, Matt, I still don't hate him in cash. Again, I think I'm gonna prioritize Harden. It's just whether or not I want to go up and get Harden and Luka. But even with DFS, Richardson, Powell, and who else is out for them right now? DFS, Richardson, Powell, and Kleber. Yep. With all them off the floor, Luka's still a 1.7 fantasy point per minute, even with Porzingis back, even with Brunson starting alongside him in the backcourt. 32% usage rate total, obviously, over the last 2 games. That has dipped a little bit. So I do have some interest there. I just don't know if I'm going to get him in cash. Yeah. It's a good matchup against the Spurs.
Spurs are great.
Not one of the higher over-unders, but I could see this game shooting out for sure. So yeah, there's some interest for me in Luka. Again, I don't know if I'm going to get there in cash because I do have more I have more interest in the Brooklyn guys, but I don't hate him if you're landing there and you can get to him.
Just GPP for me, strictly because of everything you just said. I honestly think you could get away right now, assuming that Toronto doesn't have any crazy injury news, which they probably will. You can get away with starting Chicago, Houston, and only Brooklyn players, honestly, in cash. You could get away with that. Not saying it's the best option, but you could. Let's go over to San Antonio because I want to talk about our boy Aldridge. You mentioned him on the video. Right now he's showing no ownership, so I projected that. 5.5K, 9.3%. Do you like him for GPP?
What's he at?
9.3%. Yeah, he's not owned.
0.91 fantasy point per minute, Matt. 24.4% usage
Trash.
rate. If I told you he had the highest usage rate on your team with just Derek White off the floor, would you believe me?
I don't know. The Spurs suck, dude. Just don't ask me questions about the Spurs anymore.
So with Derek White and Eubanks off the floor, LaMarcus Aldridge has the highest usage rate on your team at 24.4%, which is 0.1% higher than DeRozan at 24.3%.
That will change.
So it's a lot of ball sharing there with Pop and his Spurs. Yeah, he's cheap. I'll have interest in tournaments. I won't go there in cash. It's just weird seeing him at 5,500. Yeah. Minutes really haven't been there lately. They've been using Keldon Johnson, Rudy Gay a little bit more off the bench, Vassell even. So, I pronounced his name wrong, didn't I? It's not Vassell. Vassell. Yeah, I forget how to pronounce it. Somebody will correct us, I'm sure. But sorry, we just got the lineup for the Magic. So yeah, tournament, sure. Cash, no. I don't have any interest here for the Spurs in cash. DeRozan 7,900 if the game's competitive. I don't hate DeJounte as well. I mean, DeRozan was just 8,900 against Portland.
Yeah. Thank you, ASAP Ski, for the subscription. Really appreciate it, man.
Thank you, ASAP Skis.
I feel like we're in this awkward situation now where we're just waiting for this injury news because that will break the slate. I guess, who do you want to talk about GPP? Do you want to get the questions while we wait for the injury news? We can take that direction.
Yeah, we can do either one of those things that you had just mentioned.
Okay. For GPPs,
we really got to see what's going on with Toronto.
I know. That's the only thing we're waiting on right now. I feel like, well, it is. It's going to change the entire slate once that injury news does come out. Bookie Cousins is 91% right now. There has to be something wrong with that. He's literally 91% owned. I've never seen that.
Thugga just said, Twitter said Zeller won't be ran into the ground. They like using PJ Washington at the 5. They do like using PJ Washington at the 5, honestly, when
Is
Biz
that an
comes
opinion or is that like a confirmed thing?
I'm going to check this.
I appreciate the opinions too. It's just I want to see official news. No, I don't see anything.
There will not be a minute restriction on Cody Zeller in this return versus Chicago tonight after missing the 13 games. I'm not going to run him into the ground, he said, but he'll get a run out there. All right. So Sano just tagged me in that. Sano, thank you. Sano's always on top of his game, man. Okay. So I'm not going to sit here.
$3,500 is still so cheap for Cody
Yeah,
Zeller.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that you need Cody Zeller and cash as a necessity. Matt can disagree with me, but
I'm
just
fine
don't
with either one of those centers in that game, honestly.
any one of those centers between
Gafford and yeah.
Gafford, yeah. If Gafford starts, I'm not gonna run him into the ground, but he'll get a run out there. A run. So he'll get a run out there.
You're really overthinking this.
Yeah. So he'll get. Hold on. I need some Liberty Tree real quick.
A run could mean anything from 1 minute to 30.
So let's think about this, Matt. Let's actually really read into this. And guys, please chime in if you can.
Okay.
I'm not going to run him into the ground, he said.
But
he'll get a run.
Is this a riddle?
There. No, it's a haiku, I think. So he's going to get a run, but he won't run into the ground. So that's good. He won't trip. But he'll run out there. Okay.
All right. I'm thinking 20. I'm thinking 20 minutes if I had to be.
Yeah, I think 20 is safe. Yeah, so if he's playing Gafford's, 20, I don't. Yeah, if he's playing 20 and Gafford's playing 20, I'm gonna lean Gafford.
That's not with confidence. Look, somebody agreed exactly with what I said. 20, 25 minutes.
He'll get a run out there. Okay.
Grant said 23. We got 20, 25 minutes. What do you guys think? That should be a giveaway winner. Yo, if you guys guess the exact run of minutes that Cody Zeller gets, spam it in the chat. That will be the $25 giveaway. How about that?
Better get to 380 viewers. We only have 180.
If you guys get it, send me your
Danny R said
YouTube.
Just stick with Cousins. So
your YouTube username.
I agree with Danny. Stick with Cousins.
26.5 minutes. Yo, if you guys guess the exact run, you will get the $25 on this giveaway that we've been announcing all week long. By the way, thank you guys. If you guys could show us some support, hit that like button. Get us to the top of the search results. We'll try to get to that 380 viewer count. Hopefully, we can do it sometime this weekend. Yeah, spam it.
And if it gets
6 minutes,
if it gets 150 likes, I will give away $20.
Yep. That's actually really good.
See, Morph said we need more TJ doing dramatic readings of game plan tweets. This is good content. Morph, I got you. I know it sells, baby. Late scratch, Nick said. Nick, that's fantastic. Nick, if he's a late scratch, I will literally Venmo you $50. That's amazing.
Late scratch.
I would have said more if Mike Conley didn't bury a 3 in my face last night and make me melt off my couch.
18.7.
Ass hat.
Oh, that's amazing. 55. This person says 55. That's contrarian. I like contrarian takes.
That's quadruple OT maybe.
Yeah. All right, let's get back on track here. So let's talk about some GPP options. Games I personally want to target. So there's no ownership in this Boston game. Jaylen Brown is still without Jason Tatum. 7.8% owned. Personally like him. I know you like Embiid. Embiid, a great matchup. Did phenomenal in the last matchup. 10.1K. 2.7% owned. I think that's a fantastic GPP option. I won't talk about Miami because there's still pending some injury news there. Where's some other ones I liked? Harrison Barnes. I like the Knicks. I like Julius Randle. Think it's a great spot. I like the Knicks overall. I called them out, called them trash bags last night, but they beat the Golden State Warriors, who beat the Spurs. So apparently the Spurs are trash bags now. You like Alec Burks, right? Do you want to talk about that?
I do like Alec Burks with Frank and Rivers out. Yep.
Okay.
Back to back kind of scares me, especially coming back from the injury. But they have him projected at 26. So if he's going to play those minutes, I do like him as a tournament play. Good matchup against Sacramento. Worst defense in the NBA right now, statistically. So,
got it. And no more quickly questions, please, in the chat. That was not okay. We don't want any more quickly questions. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, quickly.
Guys. Come on.
Quickly,
that's on you guys.
We talked about people. Yeah, I
take no credit.
Specifically said don't play quickly with Burks back.
So if
you played quickly, that was a.
All right. we talked about everything. Let's go to the questions, and then we'll wait for this late breaking.
Oh, so I don't get to do any of my tournament plays?
GPP.
All right, I'm gonna do some GPPs with Chips.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Let's see here. He does not want to be here. Chip, say hi. Say hi to everybody.
He does not care. He's already doubled in size.
Yeah, he's a monster. So my tournament plays, Matt. I talked about Levine. I think he's a really good tournament play, especially the ownership that he's showing. Jokic at 3% owned. Sign me up for sure.
Yep.
It's a pretty tough matchup down low against Ayton, but the ownership alone, I really like him. You talked about Embiid, Kawhi, 2% owned, love him. Julius Randle, we talked about. Garland expected to play, so that's something.
That is something. Makes me even more off the Cavs.
Yep. De'Aaron Fox, 2% owned. I like him.
The Aryan.
Okay. Capella, 10% owned. I mean, I don't hate Capella in cash.
Yeah, that's another good one.
I think it's tough to do, but I do like Capella. SGA, 2% owned. I like SGA. That's all I'm going to say out loud. I don't want to give away everything.
All right.
There was one other. No. Let's save it.
All right. Big GPP's best place to pivot from Harden and Kyrie ? Or do we need another? Big GPPs. Good question.
Say that one more time.
Big GPPs. Who are the best pivots off of like the chalk? Who are who's the most likely to bust tonight? TJ for chalk.
Most likely. Okay, so if we're looking at ownership, Matt, we have Boogie Cousins showing north of 85% owned, and then nobody else on Roto showing north of 20%. So it is really tough to say like who is going to quote unquote bust when it comes to cash because no one's really carrying ownership outside of Boogie. If
crazy.
I had to guess, like who would throw out a dud, probably if Sabonis's ownership is going to stay there at like 17% at almost 10K with Miles Turner available, like I guess I would say Sabonis. But if we're looking at guys to go off of guys that are going to carry ownership, so if you're looking off of a pivot, off of a guy like Boogie at 4,400, I would say don't do it. But there really isn't anything in that center position around 4,400 that I think would be viable. Jeff Green, if you want to try that. I just don't see how you don't play Boogie in tournament. I don't, Matt.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
It's tough, but you also got to think about it from this perspective, and this is for anybody who's new to NBA or just DFS in general. When you simply take DeMarcus Cousins, good to know.
Siakam's in.
Okay.
All right, so
I think Sino was the exact opposite. He guessed before the stream started, so get roasted, Sino. DeMarcus Cousins,
Sino, you're trash.
DeMarcus Cousins, if you do fade him, you can make for very contrarian builds. Not saying he's a smart fade, but if you want to get very different very quickly, simply do not include him in your lineup and then play all the other players center positions.
And then I want you to say a quick prayer because that is what you will need.
I'm not saying in bigger tournaments. Okay, I'm saying only in bigger tournaments. Okay.
All right.
Also,
Norman Powell starting for Kyle Lowry, so lock in Norman Powell.
Really quick, too, James Harden or Irving in your big GPPs. Not both. They both should not have a ceiling game. Should not. Of course, triple OT can definitely change that, we know, and also a blowout potential. This game definitely does have blowout potential. So one of those two will be, quote-unquote, chalk bust tonight, just dependent on which one does very, very well, which one just kind of stays, just average. So those are, pick one of those two in big GPPs, and then one of those two will bust. Okay.
Bust down, Tatiana. I want to see you bust down.
All right. Let me get to some more questions here.
Yeah, you good questions. I'm crunching numbers. All right, so Powell's at 24. He's going to play 32 minutes now.
Cash Core just woke up.
Davis. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. Who's your Cash Core, TJ, right now? Oh, do you know what? Let's just get to Toronto. Let's do this now because this is what we were waiting for.
Yeah, let's do that because that's going to obviously affect my cash score. Because a guy like Norman Powell probably playing 32 minutes I would assume becomes viable. See something.
Is it just Lowry? It's Lowry and
Lowry Siakam is good to go. Okay, so we have Freddie. Where are you, pal?
You forgot about McCall.
Okay, yeah, McCall hasn't played.
The beast. Take him off the court. Everybody gets a usage boost. What are you talking about? Yeah, look at all this usage, guys. Just look at my screen. All these usages all so bunched up. It's crazy. This team is very balanced. All right, Kyle Lowry.
Toronto?
Van Vliet is getting a 1.9.
3.4% usage bump. Hey, spin move Siakam. You aren't good. Wow. I don't even want to tell you what Boucher is fantasy point per minute with Lowry off the floor. My goodness.
We're looking at it, so.
What? Okay.
I mean,
so
if that's
yeah,
real.
Matt,
Which
that's
it is.
real. That's a very good sample size.
Yep.
Wow.
You just found our favorite GPP play.
I'm going to play him in cash. So Van Vliet off the floor, Matt, 3.4% usage bump, 1.19 fantasy point per minute. Tyler Hero out also. Okay, so we have to do that now. All right, let's scramble. This is what I love. I love this, man. Yeah. So Norman Powell starting. So let's focus here on Toronto. Yeah. So we got Van Vliet, 3.4% usage bump, 1.19 fantasy point per minute. He's projected at 36 minutes right now. I'm going to put him to 38. Matt, I'm going to put Van Vliet to 38. Could play 40 if the game's competitive. I'm going to put Siakam to 38 as well. Boucher playing 28. I'm going to bump him. He's probably still going to play 28. That doesn't really get affected. OG, I'm going to put to 38. I'm going to put Powell to 32. And I put Terrence Davis to 22. Could see more potentially. But
how much did you put Powell to?
I put Powell to 32. I think that's safe.
That's a little too much. Don't you think?
Nope, because last game that one of these guys were out, was it Siakam that sat and then Powell started and played? That was New Year's, I'm pretty sure. That was against the Knicks. Yep, I'm pretty sure it was Siakam that sat. He played 34 minutes. So starting for Lowry, I think he can play 34 minutes again.
That's fine.
So I think 32 is a good floor, honestly. I'm gonna put it to 33. So yes, I would lock in Powell in cash if he is going to play 32 minutes. I just want to see that number kind of in front of my face to make sure we can confirm it. 0.87 fantasy point per minute, 21.5% usage rate. So I'd love him, especially starting. I think you can put Van Vliet in cash, Matt, if you want to at 7,800. I think you'll probably have to pick between him and Oladipo. I think I would still lean Oladipo, but I think they're both viable. Boucher, dude, if his ownership comes up, 2.3% usage bump with Lowry off the floor, 1.63 fantasy point per minute.
Yeah, it's 110
That's
minutes.
insane. I would have him pegged for it's a pretty good sample size too. I'd have him pegged for 46.7 DraftKings points. It's probably 4 or 5 games for Boucher, seeing that he doesn't really play more than 30-ish minutes. And then Terrence Davis, if he gets an uptick in minutes also at 3,400, I wouldn't hate him off the bench for a nice punt play. I wouldn't see his ownership kind of rising. I would assume Powell jumps to the top in ownership, Van Vliet as well. So 2 guys that I would be interested in. And now let's see the Miami Heat.
I do think Boucher's ownership is going to stay relatively low. Therefore,
yeah, it probably will.
And especially him being center only eligible, I think he's a fantastic GPP option tonight. 100%. One of the best GPP options altogether. He's 7.3K. Nobody's going to be paying that for him. As you guys just saw, he gets a huge usage boost, fantasy point per minute output. But I do think Norman Powell and Fred VanVleet from this team are your cash locks.
Oh, CMJP just said Lowry was out against the Kings and Powell played 27 minutes. I still don't.
I do think 28 is a fair number.
I think I would like to see that popcorn machine, honestly. Yeah, he missed against Sacramento on the 8th. And Powell played 27 minutes. I'm gonna bring up that popcorn machine because when was that from, Matt? The 8th or the 7th?
When they last played?
No. Okay. I got it.
What?
Nothing.
When they played Sacramento, right?
Yeah, you're good. I got it. Yeah, so Norman Powell started. Yeah, he only played 4 minutes in the 4th. Yeah, this game blew out.
Yep, that was it. That's why.
So
he didn't play in the 4th?
Yeah. I mean, a little run in the 4th, but Toronto took out all the 4 minutes left. They pulled all the starters. So Siakam, Powell, OG, Van Vliet, and Boucher. None of them played in that last 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So you can assume that if that game is competitive, those 4 minutes would go to the starters. So 27 minutes to Powell would look more like 31.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I think Toronto's pretty straightforward.
Oh my God, Boucher's only center eligible?
Yeah, I just said that.
Has that been? He
used to play power forward. Yep.
Come on, you're gonna give KD center eligibility, but you're not gonna give Boucher in the 4th spot?
Look at the roster. The roster's trash.
You look at the roster.
For Miami, is that the last team that we're waiting on in Atlanta?
Yeah, we're waiting on Atlanta. Yep. So
Okay.
we have Jimmy, Avery, Tyler Hero, and Myers Leonard, who I don't really care if I take him off, but I'll do it just for. Where are you, Myers? Excuse me.
Bless you. Was that a sneeze? Was it
That was
paying
a
attention?
cough.
Oh.
It was a cough. You're good. All right, so I'm gonna like Kendrick Nunn, unfortunately, and it's gonna drive me insane because he's gonna have a dud tonight. Bam. Dragon. Wow, I can't spell. Robinson. Kellyo. None.
Are you computing
we have
without
to-
Hero?
Yep, Hero's out.
Oh, he is out. I missed that completely. I'm sorry.
Guys, I'll tell you one thing. Matt is a very bad multitasker, but when he puts his
do you know what it is,
all
too?
his attention to one thing, he's
Listen.
absolutely flawless. What?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm a data input guy. Tyler Hero, when you pulled away, because me and you were both signed in the same Twitter account, so when you pulled that notification away, I didn't get it. So
Oh, you didn't see it.
That's
Yeah,
the reason
I know.
for it. That's my excuse.
We always fight over those. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's fair. Okay, so let's see. So Kendrick Nunn projected at 24 minutes. I'm gonna put him at 32. Dragon, I'm gonna put to 30. Bam, 35. Robinson's at 34. That's fair. Vincent will probably go to like 25, 26 maybe. He's 3,300, man. He hasn't really been playing too well though. Bam gets a really good usage bump. Matt 4.1%. Dragon. Donkey.
All right, let's see what this looks like. Sano says he landed on RJ Barrett. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Dude, RJ Barrett was nails last night
He
in
was.
the fourth quarter.
I know you hyped him up. Yeah. So Kendrick Nunn playing. What are we gonna assume?
32. Yeah, probably 34. I'm gonna put. I like to be safe, so 32. Bam's a very good play, man. Drag, where are you? Robinson.
1.06. Oops. 33. Okay, 6.3. Okay. And Adebayo, we already computed, I think.
Yeah, Bam gets a 4% usage bump with Jimmy, Avery, Hero, and Leonard off the floor. 1.45 fantasy point per minute. So I love him for tournaments. I don't think his ownership's gonna creep up too high.
Just more
We didn't even talk
center
about
options.
Vooch either, man.
Yeah.
I love Vooch too tonight.
There's so many center options. I'm telling you, the best place to get contrarian.
Yeah, I feel like center's always had. It's been a really popular stud pay up spot this year. I feel like there's been so many centers that have gone undervalued and have benefited greatly from guys being off the floor. So yeah, Matt, I'm gonna really like Kendrick Nunn. Whether he starts or whether he doesn't start, I think he's going to be viable in cash, honestly, at 5,400, even with that price bump. Bam, going to love for tournaments. Vincent's really cheap at 3,300. I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to like him, but I'll probably take some stabs at him. He's a guy that can be efficient and can knock down shots. We've seen that with some of these guys being out when everybody was out for with all the COVID stuff we had on, and then when Tyler Hero was still out. So Toronto, we did get an update in some minutes here, Matt. Van Vliet at 38, Siakam at 37, Boucher at 28, OG 36, Powell at 28.
Okay.
I still don't think he plays 28. I think they're going off of what they saw last time with the Kings, and I bet you they didn't go into detail. I'm going to put Powell at 30. I can confidently say he's going to play 30 minutes.
No, I'm talking about Boucher. Is Boucher's still going to play 28?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't see him going any higher than 30 anyways. So I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Baines has been quietly getting a few more minutes here and there. Terrence Davis they put to 21 minutes. Yeah, I like him as a punt play. So yeah, there's some really good value in Toronto and in Miami now. So the slate is gonna open up a lot. So this is good.
Good for Patreon members too, because we'll be posting our favorite updated sheet here.
Yeah,
I think I have a good idea of what this is going to look like now.
Tonight, it's a Friday night, man. A lot of people in the chat talking, DFS, football. Oh man,
it's a great time.
Football. basketball, Matt. I forgot the League of Legends just locked, and I forgot to change my lineup. So I hope I had something good. Yeah, guys, if you're not already a Patreon member, link is below. Talking all things DFS tonight would be a fantastic night to jump on
McGregor
board.
fight
If you're
tomorrow.
not, $20 a month. Yeah, McGregor fight tomorrow. MMA.
NFL.
Kevin and Matt did a big video. Kevin, Matt, and I are going to do a video tonight for NFL. So yeah, $20 gets you access to all the cheat sheets that we have. And again, a night where we're probably going to get off here within the next 15 minutes. We might not be able to cover everything. You can ask us any questions that you might have in the Discord chat, because that gets you access to the Discord chat. Also, if you do sign up on Patreon, just a bunch of people talking DFS, bouncing lineups off each other, different ideas. So link is below. Yes, Matt added the stocks chat. So yeah, fantastic night to honestly sign up, because there are so many different injuries happening. There's a lot of great stuff that we have to cover this weekend. I'm excited for that McGregor fight. So yeah, Matt, with everything shaking up now, Boogie obviously still a lock, 100%. Right now, I really still like Markkanen at 6,600. I think he would still be a lock for me. I think you need one of Harden and Kyrie. I think you need to go off your preference. I'm personally gonna. I mean, man,
you just hate.
I want to say
to the core so much.
I know. I want to say James Harden with all of my heart, because like he's gonna fill the stat sheet. Like Kyrie's not gonna go get you 10 rebounds, 15 assists, along with points, but like that's what James Harden offers. So that's why I'm leading Harden. So I'm gonna stay with James Harden. If you want to go Kyrie again, I think you need one of those two guys in your cash lineup for sure. And then from there, Matt, all the value that just opened up with Toronto and Miami, like I'm going to really like Kendrick Nunn at 5,400 if he does see 32, 34 minutes. Bam, tournament play for sure. Powell probably going to be the lock for me at 4,300 as well. Van Vliet in play at 7,800. Oladipo in play at 8K. You can pay up for Luka if you have the value that's the cheap value. And man, we didn't even talk about Vooch either at 8,900. Eric Gordon, 57. There's a ton of good plays tonight, guys. Ton of good plays. Just making sure you get that nice core and then kind of working off of that is going to be huge.
So speaking of core, let's give a cash core, TJ, and then we'll ask a few more questions in the Discord. We'll completely end this thing. Once we answer all the questions or as many as we can, and then we got to get off just a little bit early so I can update all the Patreon stuff and all that.
Yep.
Cash core. 4 players, TJ. Your top 4 right now. And again, you've pretty much given out your entire lineup, but I want to hear you bring it all together. Only 4 options.
Only 4.
Yep. I know it's tough. Well, you can go for 5 if you're feeling good.
Okay. My cash core would be starting with Boogie. Boogie's a lock, 100%. I would then go to, I would say Boogie. I'm going to say Harden. Okay. I'm gonna give 5, Matt. I'm gonna say Boogie. I'm gonna say Harden.
I knew you would.
I'm gonna say Markkanen. I'm gonna say Kendrick Nunn, and I'm gonna say Norman Powell.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say Terrence Davis, but I'm not gonna say Terrence Davis. I'm gonna say Norman Powell.
Got it. Okay. I personally think Oladipo still needs to be in your lineup without all these guys on the floor. So I'm gonna start with Oladipo. Okay. I'm gonna start with Oladipo, Kyrie Irving, obviously Boogie. And Norman Powell as my 4.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of different directions you can go after that, though. But Oladipo, I'm telling you guys, I'm not just saying it's because he's one of my favorite players, but Oladipo, man, he's going to be getting up to that 9 to 10K range here pretty soon just because of the usage. It's up there with Harden. It really is. So
tough matchup, Matt, tonight against. Just kidding. They're playing Detroit. I don't know why I thought they were just playing Indiana.
I was like, hold up.
I typed in OLA, and then for some reason I thought move past it.
He just does way too much for that team right now, especially without Christian Wood. So it's gonna be him and DeMarcus Cousins the entire night. Those are our cash core. Let's switch over to questions. I'm gonna go into the Discord. By the way, Discord questions get you priority. Cash core just woke up. We just went over that. Oh, they are okay. That's good to know. TJ, I hate to say this, but this is a rematch between your Celtics and my 76ers from Joey. I hope Jaylen Brown has a better revenge game and goes nuts tonight, but Boston still loses. That's funny. Yeah, I do think Jaylen Brown. I do think Jaylen Brown's a great GPP option still. Julius Randle versus Sacramento late night hammer. I do like Randle. TJ, you like Randle tonight?
Yes. Yep.
Like anybody against Sacramento. Powell starting.
Back
yes.
to back.
Thank you.
Don't care.
Too many centers. Yes. How is this for a cash for late only? Murray, Paul George, Bridges, Rand. You got to change that up, man. There's a lot of value on the slate. I think for the late slate, though, that does cut off at
Probably. He
Oh,
said
that's really
he
late.
said
You're right.
yeah, probably
That's only 3
8:30.
games.
Probably those last 4 games. No, because he said Murray, didn't he?
Ooh.
Oh, he might have been talking about Jamal Murray. Sorry, I thought he was talking about DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know for that
if
slate.
you're
Marvin
if you're
Bagley.
playing the late slate, yeah, Bagley, George Hill, Cam Johnson, maybe. I think those are some good cheap plays.
Yeah.
You mentioned some higher or some higher price guys. So if those are your fillers, I think you're okay.
Thoughts for cash, an entire lineup. And Trent, man, you always come in here with the best cash lineups. You and Sano are always fire with these. Kyrie, Oladipo.
Don't give Sano credit.
Okay. Yeah, so that was trash. That was a trash take earlier. Kyrie, Oladipo, Norman Powell, Markkanen, Boogie, Fred VanVleet, OG, okay? Zeller / Gafford, so you haven't decided. Yes, I like all those guys. OG's going to carry minutes, but he's just not a good fantasy point per minute player. That being said, he might be a good cash filler. I would swap up between OG, Zeller, and Gafford to see if you can get some more ownership in there. Should I still only have one Harden and Irving in tiers? Yes. Yeah, in bigger tournaments at least. What would you think about this for cash? Kyrie, Kendrick Nunn, Eric Gordon, Markkanen, Zeller, Luka, Powell, DeMarcus Cousins. Yeah, I like that. I do. Powell and shooting guard or small forward. I don't think it matters. It matters about lineup construction. Honestly, Houston starting 5 came out. Oladipo, Gordon, Tate, Tucker, Cousins. Did you see that, TJ? So Cousins
Yeah, that's
is
what I
starting.
expected.
Okay, that's what you said. Okay. Drummond for GPP. Do you agree with that? Do you like Drummond tonight at all? Does have a good matchup.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I don't hate it. Sexton back, Garland back, though. I know it doesn't directly affect Drummond, but ball's in his hands a little bit less. So I do like him, but I'm probably off of him tonight.
Cash, Oladipo, I think you mean none.
Numb.
Powell, Siakam,
Back
Cousins, VanVleet, Gordon, Markkanen. I do like those guys. Siakam is going to be a little bit lower owned, but again, he's a decent last piece. Michael Porter Jr. and GPP. I would avoid him because he's coming off an injury. I don't know. His minutes are always iffy, and you add that into the mix, it's like, well, I have no idea what's
coming off of the health protocol safety. I don't know what they have him pegged at right now for minutes. 6,800 still if he plays 25 minutes. I don't know.
A lot more better
he's
plays.
Very good. Go to Kyrie instead.
That was a whisper, right?
Just kidding. No, go to Kemba. I don't know why I said Kyrie. Go to Kemba.
It's like, yeah, okay. That's all I have for questions.
Okay. There's about 1,000 right here, so I'm gonna work top to ball. Actually, no, I'm gonna go to like the middle.
We have about 5 minutes left, so.
Yep. I'm gonna try and bang out as many of these questions as I can, Matt. Jarrett Allen, a good play, tournament play if you're going there. But yeah, I don't really like him for cash. Zeller minutes will be 4.5 times PJ Tucker's fantasy score. That is 100%.
It's a lot of math.
Is Pornhub an instrument?
What?
I think it's more of a guilty pleasure. Where's value tonight other than Boogie for cash?
That's a real comment.
Matt, I think what's up?
Go ahead.
I think now in terms of cash for what was the question? For value? Value tonight. Norman Powell now. Some of those Miami Heat guys as well. Maybe Terrence Davis too if you want to. How many minutes is Chips playing tonight? Chips is probably gonna play 33 from the couch. Let's see here. Different in cash GPP. Matt, if you want to explain that to Cody real quick while I find some more questions.
GPP, further you place into a tournament, the more you win. So if you get first place in a huge pool, it's like $100,000. You might win, I don't know, 20,000 of that. The top 25% cashes. The back 75% does not in cash. The top 50% cash, and you double up your money. Whatever you put in $5, you get $10 out.
Good job, Matt. Oh man, I think I just found the nuts. Oh boy. Let's see what else do we have here. Thank you guys for the Lowry out news. Appreciate you guys. Joe Harris, not with the big three playing. I don't hate Joe Harris as a tournament play, but you know, you still have Kyrie, you still have Harden there. What are you laughing at?
Just move past it.
Okay. Irving, Oladipo, Joe Harris, McDermott, Embiid, Wayne Ellington, Prince, Cousins, GPP. I don't hate that. I don't hate Wayne Ellington actually popped a little bit on the sheet.
Wayne Ellington, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure about Prince. McDermott with Miles Turner back. No, yeah, Hayden, I'm not really on that, to be honest with you. Go Powell or Van Vliet, I'm assuming. I like both. I think you go Powell. Both are in play for me. Hero out. Nice. Yes, Hero out. Thank you, guys. In a predicament with these 4 centers only. Okay, Grant, no one cares. Hero out at least through 3 more games. Thank you. Don't forget Flynn will get minutes. Sandman coming in with the Flynn call. Boucher, bounce back game for sure. Boucher and Boogie, Matt. For cash, probably not. But man, God,
Those
I do want
minutes
to play
with Boucher. If he was playing like 35 minutes, he'd be a cash like every single time.
Yeah, Matt, I do want to see one thing real quick on Boucher. Where are you? Okay, Matt. So the 2 games, last game, Lowry was out. Boucher went for 49 against Sacramento. Again, that's against Sacramento, not against Miami and Bam.
Two completely different teams.
Yeah, a lot tougher of a matchup. Sano landing on RJ. Sano, I kind of feel like I know exactly what lineup you have because I literally was just landing on RJ. Terrence Davis, good tournament play. Yep, none or Dragic. I lean none. Matt, I think Dragic more of a tournament play, but I think they're both going to carry some ownership now with Hero being out.
Yeah, I keep updating the ownership. It's not changing right now, but I'm going to keep doing it for you guys.
Let me see if I have anything updated. Nope, I don't either.
Nope.
Okay, let's see here. Teron Prince for tournaments.
I do, a little bit.
For me. Okay.
Siakam and Van Vliet are now at the top. So Siakam is also cash viable. Howell is up there, but Siakam and Van Vliet are higher. Yep.
Yeah, I like them both. I'd leave Van Vliet there over Siakam.
Yep.
What about Michael Porter tournament play? Fred Van Vliet or Depot? Yeah, see, that's going to be the question tonight, honestly.
That's tough. It really is.
Man,
I think usage-wise, I think Oladipo is going to be just.
Yeah, I think you go Oladipo there, guys. I would love to have both of them. I'm telling you right now, I'm trying to have a lineup with both. But I still think I lean Oladipo. But that is very tough. Herter a lock if Hunter is out. Yeah, Herter's not 9,500 again, so I think he would be in play. That remains to be unseen because
he deserves that price tag. But
news. Unfortunately, yeah, at the 9,500.
Yeah.
Okay. Javonte Green, no, thank you. Kelly Olynyk for tournaments, sure, if you want to go there. I don't hate it. TJ landed on my line. I see, so no, you're trash. Bam, Markkanen, or Boucher. Who are your 2 picks? I go Markkanen and Boucher. Oh, man. Oh, God, that broke my brain, Harry. I don't know. Those are like my 3 legit favorite centers besides Boogie.
So now I see what's going on in the YouTube chat, and I also like Kyrie. TJ is actually trash.
Dude, Harry just broke my brain. Bam, Markkanen, or Boucher. So Bam and Markkanen are going to play more minutes than Boucher. I can guarantee you that.
I think Boucher, the same price.
If Boucher has Boucher probably has the high. I don't even know if he has the higher ceiling because of his minutes. If he played the same minutes as Bam,
Markkanen has the highest minute or has the highest ceiling.
Yeah, no, I know. Bam, yeah, he does. I would say Bam and Markkanen. No, I'd say Bam. I don't know. I love all 3 of them. Harry.
You didn't break your brain.
Good luck. Yeah, my brain's broken, Matt. I can't compute. Let's see. Dort, J3. I like him for tournaments. Chips is going to pee on the floor, I think. Best power forward play today, Matt. Who do we like for power forward?
It's Tim Duncan, honestly. No.
Okay.
Bagley's up there. Markkanen's my favorite.
I'd say Siakam's in there and Markkanen. Yeah, Bagley as well. Yep. Gallinari playing still yet to be seen. None or Herter. I like none. Matt, pick 2. Eric Gordon, none, and Herter if Reddish and Hunter are out.
Oh, come on. That's not fair.
Yeah, Alex, you're throwing a lot at us, man. I like none and Eric Gordon.
I do too.
If Reddish and Hunter are in. If Hunter and Reddish are out, I like none and Eric Gordon.
Much.
Any word on the Atlanta injuries? No, James, we don't have those yet, unfortunately. Harry, you're really going to throw Bam, Markkanen, and Boucher again in my face and break my... you keep breaking my brain. Stop doing that to me. I love all 3 of them. I can't choose between 2. Seriously, they're like 3 of the highest values on my sheet right now.
You're really stuck on that question.
Yeah, he asked it again, and like just now I'm just like my head's spinning. None are Eric Gordon for cash. I lean none. Matt, forward for 6,800 or less.
Okay,
that's funny because that's kind of where I'm at constructing my lineup.
So everybody's making the same lineup in here apparently.
Yeah, I think Markkanen, exactly, but I'm assuming Markkanen. I'm assuming you have Markkanen. Yeah, guys, I mean you're doing it right. Honestly, guys, if that's where you're landing and you have Markkanen, I think you need to readjust. That would be my honest opinion. I don't think you force anything. Osman in tournaments, not with Garland back and Sexton as well. Do we know if Gafford's starting? Not yet. I would assume he starts. I don't know.
D'Lo and Cash, no.
I don't know who else Chicago would start at center, honestly, unless they throw like Thad there. But like, I don't think I don't think they do that. I think they have to start Gafford. Honestly, I like D'Lo in tournaments, not for cash.
I'll give it 3 more minutes.
Forward for 5K or less, Matt, for cash.
Who? What?
Forward. A forward.
Forward. Oh, okay.
Forward. 5K or less for cash. I don't hate Tate. I like Thad Young at 4,700. I just get worried with his minutes. I think Tate's...
Roby's always there too. We didn't even mention him.
Yeah, Roby's there. I kind of fallen by the wayside a little bit. The minutes aren't really there for Roby. I feel like he just consistently
Danny
plays
Green's
like
there
26.
too.
So
all right,
yeah, Danny Green's
next.
trash. They have Felicio starting. Okay, thanks, Matthew.
Do they?
Yeah, I think Gafford starts.
They have. Okay.
Matt, we get some premium in the chat. Some premium questions.
What does it
Bulls
say?
will start. White, Levine, Williams, Markkanen, and Gafford.
What do you mean the premium? What is going on?
The YouTubes. We have a question asking.
I'm still not understanding what you're saying. You want me to read the questions in the premium chat?
Discord. Yes.
For cash, small GPP. Yes, I know I'm missing 2 players. Just wondering if I'm on the right path. I need to go up. Oh, Irving, Oladipo, Powell, Markkanen, Cousins, Van Vliet. TJ, is that a good start for your cash lineup? They're trying to guess your cash lineup.
What was it? Irving, Depot, Powell, Markkanen, Cousins, Van Vliet. Yeah, no, I like that.
Okay.
Close. So Matt, Gafford starting. I would think he's viable at 3,100. Honestly, I think it gives you some flexibility. Am I making him a priority? No, but if you're landing on him and you're trying to pay up for some more studs, like I don't hate him. The most he's played so far this year is 22 minutes against Washington. I would be interested to see. That was on the 31st, so that was on New Year's. I want to see if he started. Matt, if you want to answer some questions, I'm going back here. This is against
we have
Washington.
1 more minute, so I'll let you get to that and answer any last questions.
That was when he came off the bench, 22 minutes. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to play north of 20 minutes, honestly. But even with that being said, I think he can pay off that price tag if you're looking to go cheap.
What was that? Did you hear that?
Nope.
I had the weirdest sound pop up in my headset. No, it was no, but I can make that happen. Hold on. It wasn't this.
Guys,
no, it was like a drop of like water in my ear. I don't know what that was.
Matt, 275 people watching. You guys are incredible. Only 63 likes. I wanted to give away $20 tonight if we got to 150 likes. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to be happening.
Tomorrow it will, though. 100%.
Tomorrow, I hope it does. Porzingis for cash. No, Brian, not tonight. Oladipo, Van Vliet, Powell.
All right, it's time.
Mark, Cousins, Irving, Barrett, Gafford, good for cash. Yeah, I don't hate that.
It's time.
Okay.
All right, we're going to sign off, guys. We're going to go update the Patreon cheat sheet. Yep, we'll see you guys in the Discord. With all that being said, guys, have a great rest of your night.
Hello. Sign up. Ask me questions. Love you guys.
Let's cash.